One should offer respectful obeisances to the personality of God and another unto Nagana, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, unto Srila Saraswati, the author. Namaskarayesu Bhakteshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki. Service to the purity of our lives, our heart is almost completely destroyed. and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, whose praise to the dance and the songs is established and settled in fact. Om Jnana-Jnanasya Jnana-Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisance unto him.
Those of you know this prayer, please recite with me. Mukham karoti vacharam pangam langayate vidim yat kripakam aham vande Shri Guru Deenavaranam. I offer my respectful obeisances unto my spiritual master, the deliverer of the fallen souls, whose mercy turns the dumb into an eloquent speaker and enables the lame to cross the mountains. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we have two new people. What's your name?
I'm also.
Ashok.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Ankit.
Yeah.
You both are from Nepal.
Nepal. Yes.
I'm very good with that guess.
First time? First time?
First. Nice to meet you.
Same
Welcome.
here. Yeah.
And you know, it's a privilege. Can you put Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj this picture? Yeah.
Yeah.
There is one more picture. You know the one. Can you see some options? There is one more picture. Yeah, you see this second row, fourth picture. Yeah. You see, that's perhaps. Okay, just first row, fourth picture. First row, fourth. No, second row. Second. Yes. So you arrived. You're visiting us on a very auspicious day. No, that's all. Understand. So you are visiting the temple on a very auspicious day. Today is the appearance day of a very great personality, and so he is actually our great grand spiritual father. Okay, so you saw his picture. We were facing someone in the temple hall. That's him. That's him. So before we start with so today's class is all about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj. Okay. And all the acharyas in our sampradaya, they're amazing, right? If you read Nectar of Devotion, there is a little bit of introduction about, the two Goswamis, Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatana Goswami. When you read their pastimes, it's just so amazing. You'll feel connected with them. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also has amazing pastimes. And for some reason, I really, really, out of all the acharyas, he's one of my favorite. And, so before we start with the discussion, I just have some pastimes to share to just introduce who he is. I just want you to actually observe this picture and share your thoughts. Like one word, what do you see in the picture? Do you see, so you can take your time, just one word. Take your time and then, and if you're ready, raise your hand and yes.
Radiant.
Sorry?
Radiant.
Radiant. Okay, yes, radiant.
Ferocious.
Ferocious. Okay. Yes, Shraj?
Compassionate.
Compassionate, yes.
Brahmana.
Brahmana, yes.
Merciful.
Worshipful.
Merciful.
Merciful, yes.
Peace.
Yes, peace, perfect.
And his opinion is on his neck.
Huh? Sorry?
A name is on his neck.
Oh, yes. So you can see the Brahman thread, so he's a Brahmana, yes. You?
Charming.
Huh?
Charming.
Charming. Any other thoughts?
He has this really distinct smile, which is not kind of like, it's very subtle.
Which is very sad. Like he knows, what you're up to. So if you're trying to make an excuse, oh, I did not come for morning program because of so and so reason, and this is a smiley way. I know what you're up to. Right? I've lived with that. Okay. Any other thoughts? Innocence. Nice. Okay.
Blessings.
Huh?
Blessings.
Blessings. Yes. Perfect. Ashoka. Powerful. Yes.
Spiritual.
Spiritual, perfect, amazing. You propose her what are you doing here? You should be in crime bureau. That's so nice. Okay, any other
Just like saintly.
Saintly, okay. One nice. So I learned this. I also actually visited, my first Bhagavatam class was on his appearance day. That was, I think, I don't know when was it, but it was Bhakti Swami who was giving the class, and he asked us to do the same exercise. And at that time, I noticed dedication in him. I mean, looking at this picture, I was like, I think he's a no-nonsense person, zero tolerance for any nonsense, right? And looks like someone is very confident and bold, and he has a backup. But we are confident and bold without a backup, right? Like, oh, this is absolutely wrong. But why is this absolutely wrong? We don't know, right? So, he's also known as Lion Guru. Does everyone know? We'll go further. Do you know why? Okay.
I've just heard.
Any other person? Any other devotee who know? Okay, we'll dive deeper into that.
Maybe the worshippers, aren't they?
No. Good guess though. So, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, first of all, I can't cover all the pastimes, but whatever I can cover, I just wrote it down. I usually prefer to speak without notes, but it's just so amazing. His life is just so amazing that I had to just pick a few things. So he was born in Jagannath Puri to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Sri Yukta Bhagavati Devi Dasi. These are the parents. And he was born on 6th February 1874 at 3:30 p.m. And so, Vaishnavas, they don't appear on this planet just for no reason, right? This is material world. And if they're so exalted, why do they come to this planet? So they come to rescue us, right? To deliver us. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who is the father of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, he was a district magistrate. And those of you who are from India, you know that district magistrate is still a very regarded and a high respectable post in India. So he was a district magistrate at that time, and Britishers were ruling India at that time. And at the same time, he was, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a very, very sincere devotee. He was a pure devotee of the Lord. He was worshipping Krishna. And he has his amazing pastimes as well. So he was wonderful in his career. He was successful there. He was successfully preaching. He's the one who started, what do you call this? Bhakti Vriksha idea. It's coming from him. But then also, he had this a feeling, who will be my successor? How many of you have business? How many of your parents have business? Your parents have business? Your parents? Shreyansh, you too, right? Urban, you too? So I'm pretty sure that there is a feeling amongst your parents at some point that who will take over this after we die, right? Like, will this shop close? Will the showroom close? Right? So that's the same thing. What Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was going through, and he was very concerned who will be the successor. So he was quite concerned with the succession planning. And what do Vaishnavas do when they're concerned?
Ask Krishna.
Yes, they pray. They pray, they depend upon Krishna. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur prayed, and then, Vishnu sent his ray, and that is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj. And there are a lot of unnatural incidents that happened when he was born. For example, any biology students in the class? Oh wow, amazing. I think that you also wow, nice, amazing. So I think everyone would know, not just biology students, there's something known as umbilical cord that attaches us to our mom, in the womb, right? So when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj was born, his umbilical cord was wrapped around his body as if it was a Brahman thread. Exactly like this. Right? It was just so weird. It doesn't happen. Right? Maybe he was just moving too much in the womb. But no, that's not the case. He was born in that way. And then, when everyone saw that, they were like, okay, this is a sign of something. Then, do you know this first grain ceremony, Annaprashan? Does everyone know? Is there anyone who doesn't know about this? Okay, so when the child is born, for a very long time, you don't feed him any grain, right? Because he could choke, or maybe he's not ready and teeth are not there. However, like at some point, it is a sanskar which is known as Annaprashan, which is known as the first grain ceremony. So you feed something to the baby for the first time. And after that ceremony, in some cultures, they try to predict what will the kid be like. So in Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, I'll call him Maharaj right now, just to just so that we don't get confused, and I might get confused with the names. So there was a certain Bhagavatam that was kept on one side and gold coins on one side. And so what happens is you leave the kid, like, okay, so wherever the kid will go, you would know, okay, this is his interest, this is his interest. So he naturally went towards Srimad Bhagavatam, and not only he went towards Srimad Bhagavatam, he put Bhagavatam to his chest. So this is quite unnatural, right? Like gold coins are quite blingy and you'd be more attracted to it. As a kid, I don't remember feeling attracted to a book. So that was quite unnatural. And then at some point in his childhood, they moved to Calcutta. And when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, his father, was building a house, so there was you could do some construction. It's not like here in North America, when you're making a house in India, like you do a lot of construction and digging. And when they were digging, it was a coincidence. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur found a deity of Kurma on that land. And when he found that deity, he gave that deity to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj. And at that time, he gave him beads as well to chant. So it was kind of like Harinam initiation by his father. And he named him Vimala Prasad. And why Vimala Prasad? Does anyone know? Why was he named Vimala Prasad? No? Okay, Vimala. So, have you all been to Jagannath Puri? Is there anyone who has been to Jagannath Puri? Wow, very few people. Okay, so in Jagannath Puri, if you go, there is a small temple just outside, which is Vimla Devi's temple, right? So, this is another huge, very great pastime. But just to summarize the pastime, the prasadam from Jagannath goes to Vimla Devi first, and then it just passes on to anyone else. So the first grain in his first grain ceremony, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj was fed Vimla Devi's prasad, and that's why his name was Vimla Prasad. Easy? Now you would remember, right? Easy? So he had wonderful, wonderful qualities, all the qualities that we go coaching for, right? Like you might just Google personality development class. I want to learn how to speak. I want to learn how to debate. I want to look confident. I don't have maybe I just want to join some tuitions. Maybe I want to join some of the Bhagavatam class, the Bhagavad Gita class to be well versed. He was well versed. At the age of 7, he was well versed with Bhagavatam, right? Well versed with Bhagavatam. Isn't it just so amazing? And apart from that, at the age of 13, he started proofreading his father's book. That's just so amazing. His English was amazing. And the thing is, he was always very confident and bold about what he spoke. And then at the same time, he wasn't, he had a proof for that. He had a reason for that. So he was very, very talented that way. One of the most talented acharyas in our sampradaya. Most talented. And then he was, I think at the age of 13, I can't recall the age, but somewhere around between 7 to 13, he wrote a commentary on Vedanta. And then also he wrote a commentary on Surya Siddhant, which was considered very difficult at that time. And because he wrote a commentary at such an age on such a literature, he was given the title of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Sorry, Siddhanta Saraswati. Not Bhakti, but Siddhanta Saraswati. Isn't that just so amazing? I really, I'm telling you, when I study Bhakti Shastri, I keep a verse and I try to memorize it. 2 months later, I forget that verse. I see what is the level and how much we all have to get up and go. I'm pretty sure you all are way more smarter than me, but I have this kind of memory. But he did not have any of those things, and he was very well versed. It's like reading one book and he would just remember every single thing. Isn't that just so amazing? Then at the same time, his determination is very nice. We'll dive deeper into a pastime which talks about his determination. So I'll give you one example of how well versed he was. So there was a festival in a town called Medinapur. So this festival was of 3 days. Okay? And usually when there is a debate, what happens? Like, there is a topic, this versus this, what happens? Any idea, any guesses? Like if let's say the topic of the debate is administration versus pujari services. So what will be the mood of the two parties?
Defensive.
Yes, exactly. They both will be like, no, my service is important. Another one will be like, my service is important, right? So here in Medinapur, the topic was, I think something where, I think supremacy or superiority of Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. So there was a competition here. Okay. So actually, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur was supposed to go in this festival. For some reason he fell sick and he couldn't go there. The father of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, he was supposed to go, but he could not go, so he was sick. And because he was sick, Maharaj went there. Now it's just so amazing. You please listen to this very carefully. What he did there, and as what Devanshi just said, usually when there is a debate, you become defensive, or rather you just glorify your own self, right? But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj is beyond this, and what he did is it was a 3-day festival. So first day he glorified all the Brahmins. He explained how amazing Brahmanas are. Wherever anywhere Brahman walks, all the 4 directions, they pay obeisances, Brahmanas are like this, they're very auspicious, blah blah blah. He just kept on glorifying Brahmanas. And every Brahmin was sitting in the room was like, oh, looks like we just won. Right? They had this feeling that the entire festival is about this topic. And he's it sounds like he's surrendering, he's glorifying us. And on day 2, he explained the current situation of Brahmanas. Right? If may I ask, what is the current situation of a Brahmana as per your observation? Maybe you had a classmate who was very obsessed that, I was born in a Brahmin family. And then you saw 2 hours later after the school, the person was having kebab, right? So something like that. Look at it, you had your hand.
So, the Brahmanas nowadays, they don't have their standard procedure of learning. They are going with the material, not scriptures, the material. So all others.
Yeah, right. So they are just Brahmanas by name. And they also have this feeling, right? I was born in this clan. And they're not Brahmanas by karma. I have a very dear friend from my childhood. And, for some reason he was told that he's this kind of Brahmin, and even amongst those Brahmins it was superiority, right? I don't know how to explain this, it's too detailed, but just Brahmin with so-and-so village, with so-and-so land, so he has learned that. And every time he recites that, I'm a Brahmin and this and that. And then, Lucknow is famous for kebabs, non-vegetarian cuisine, and he knows each and every restaurant that serves meat and what kind of meat. So what kind of a Brahmin is he, right? So this is current day situation. It's just one example, but there is something worse. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, day 1, he glorified the Brahmins, and day 2, he explained the current situation of the Brahmins, how bogus they are, right? And on day 3, he explained why Vaishnavas are greater than Brahmanas. So now it was so convincing. Even the Brahmanas were convinced of that assembly. Wow. I actually never. So he just did not say, oh, you're not doing this, you're not doing it. In a very systematic way, he, presented the argument. How many of us can do that? right? Like whenever there is a topic, we'll just start finding, oh, what great things we have done, right? Let's say there is a fight between ladies' ashram and men's ashram, and there is a debate here who has served Teacher Gopinath more. Both the ashrams would just start writing, oh, we went for this Mangalarti, we did this service. Well, we held heavy pots, girls cannot lift that, otherwise they would have killed them, would have been collecting their teeth. So, things like that. They'll start competing with each other. But he did not compete. He knew, it was fixed in his mind, the Vaishnavas are superior. But how do I explain it to them? Isn't that just amazing? And especially, so this is the thing that, the confidence that he got from, being so well versed in the Shastras. So, so this is where he was well versed, and then there are few things about his boldness as well. It's quite bold. When I said that I observed that he's a no-nonsense person, like, you're living in Bhakti Academy right now. Sometimes you feel sick even though you're not, right? And you won't show up for morning program. But I swear, if it was Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, he wouldn't be here right now. Well, I'm joking. He'd be more than that. Like, he'd be a very nice guru. So, one time, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's spiritual master. So what happened is, Maharaj, he was a kid, and he was with his father, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's spiritual master just happened to visit. And so his spiritual master, the one who gave him initiation, Diksha, he just appeared, and his name was Bipin Bihari Goswami. And naturally, when you see your spiritual master, you have to pay obeisances, right? You pay obeisances. And the moment he paid obeisances, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur paid obeisances. So, Bipin Bihari Goswami, the spiritual master, he put his feet on the head of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I mean, I would really want that. I really want that. But, my spiritual master won't do it. From all Vaishnavas, what to say of just a spiritual master. However, he, Maharaj did not like Srila Bhaktivinoda Maharaj. He did not like that at all. And he actually confronted Bipin Bihari Goswami Maharaj, like, this is just inappropriate. Do you know who my father is? And he's not talking like, you know who my father is? He's not talking like that. He's just trying to say, you're doing this, do you know how such a nice person he is, and blah, blah, blah. So, he was actually sometimes misunderstood as a rude person, but he wasn't. And apart from that, all these wonderful personalities like Ram Krishna, there was one more, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, who were like, again, they were very amazing in their beliefs, but they all were scared of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj. Like Mayavadis, if they were walking on the street, they were like, Maharaj would just attack on them. Like, you are an offender, why do you think Krishna doesn't have a form? And isn't it just so amazing? Like, everyone was just scared of him. Like, people who were Mayavadis or, had a different philosophy. It's just so amazing. You see that? Apart from, being spiritual when he grew up, he was working. Like, he served as a minister. Every king has a Brahmana guiding him. So he served in that post like a priestly counselor or advisor. And he was serving King of Tripura at that time. And then, when he was serving, he just realized that, there's a lot of politics here. And I don't think this is helping me in my Krishna consciousness. Which management is without politics, right? And it's the kingdom. So naturally there is politics. And politics is not bad. Politics, it's taken as a bad word, but it's not a bad word, right? Politics means like managing something with strategy, planning. He just felt like there was a lot of negative politics, and this wasn't helping him in his Krishna consciousness. So he just decided to quit. Or rather, he took retirement. But the king was so pleased with him, so pleased with him that he gave him a very generous pension throughout his life. So he retired at the age of 25. Is there anyone who is 25-year-old here? I know that when I was 25, I was I think I was just like trying to pay off my credit card bill. And Maharaj is so amazing, he was getting pension. It's amazing. And so this is, again, I told you something about like how well versed he was. I told you something about where he was bold. And then also being a man who has moral values and principles. It is another beautiful pastime which shows that how strong he was with his morals and values and principles. Vaishnavas, they usually don't eat anything unless it's offered to the Lord, right? They're prasaditarians. Amogila Prabhu uses this term, that we are not vegetarians, we're prasaditarians. So what happens is that one time, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj just took mangoes and ate those mangoes. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur just appeared there. Hey, you can't do this thing, it's not offered to Krishna. How can you eat that? And he was so guilty that he never ever had mangoes in his life. Ever. It's just, I think mango is like such a fruit, come on. But he never had mangoes in his life. When I heard this pastime, I was so inspired. So one time in Govinda's, whenever I read any pastime about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, it's not that I'm comparing myself with him, but I just see how exalted he is and how fallen I am. One time I was in Govinda, there was a delivery that came in, and it was Ekadasi, and I'm addicted to these samosas in Govindas. It's just so amazing. I don't know. And now kachori is also there. It's just so very difficult. So what happened is, I forgot that it's Ekadashi, and I took samosa, and I ate samosa, and I felt so guilty, and those were my serious brahmachari days. I was very serious about sleeping on the floor, waking up at a certain time, going to bed, Ekadashi, and then meditating upon that particular, there's a pastime on every Ekadashi. How did I break this? Oh my God. I will also not eat samosa all my life. And it's just so hilarious that I was doing very well. And others were eating samosas in front of me. Vishaka was not affected. She's very, I was like, Vachu, Wakam. This is a perfect. I'm actually rectifying my mistakes, and I thought, oh my God, even in Lucknow, my hometown is famous for samosa. Even if there they offer me samosas, I will not take it. But then, next month, another Ekadashi fell, same incident happened. I again had samosa on the day of Ekadashi. And at that time, I just realized what just happened. I wasn't taking samosa, so it was clear to me that I'm not taking samosa. How did I just forget that? You know what I mean? For a month, you're not doing something. So you know that, oh, I don't, what just happened? I don't know. And then I was just introspecting, and I discussed it with my mentors. And actually, I found maybe I was just imitating Maharaj. He could do it. I can follow that dedication, but I think I was being too fanatical. I could have done something else, maybe follow the Ekadashi the next day, something like that. So it was just so funny, and how Maya, or I would say Krishna, wanted to teach me a lesson. You won't eat samosa any other day, you'll eat it on Ekadashi, the next month. And that, I just, I don't think I felt bad, but I felt that I realized my position again. Who am I? And very, very long way to go to have that dedication. But it's inspiring to see, right? He couldn't, he never had mangoes ever again in his life. So this is about his determination. There is another beautiful pastime. This is my favorite. Are you all aware of his initiation pastime? This is amazing. So his guru, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur suggested Maharaj that you should take initiation from Gaur Kishore Babaji. Now Gaur Kishore Babaji was Krishna's devotees, they're just so amazing. Everyone has so many different colors. And within this temple, you can see every single devotee have their own mood. Divided by moods but united by Krishna. Like you see, like they have their own mood. Someone could be very patient, and someone could get mad at a very small thing. Or someone could get mad at a very big thing, but would be very patient in another. It's just like there's so many versions of devotees, but they all are the best humans on this planet. All of them. You won't be able to deny that. No matter how stressed I get, or you know how busy you might be, but you won't. I mean, please reflect on it later. You won't be able to deny the fact that even though these devotees, like you know, I may get along with them, I may not get along with them, but still, I can't deny that these are the best people. They're the better people who are walking on the street, you know, because they're walking towards Krishna. And so coming back to this pastime, so Gaurkishore Babaji was very different, and at the same time, he wasn't like he had his own different way. For one example is like he had some siddhi. It's known as Vakya Siddhi. So Vakya Siddhi is like a mystic power. Like for like I think 10 years or 12 years, if you wake up every Brahma Muhurat and you chant all your rounds in Brahma Muhurat, after 10 years or 12 years, you get Vakya Siddhi. So Vakya Siddhi is whenever you say something, it becomes true. It gets true, right? Like, and a Malvi could come to me, oh, you know what, I want an airplane. And I would be like, oh, tomorrow when you, with Vakya Siddhi, I could say, oh, you know, tomorrow when you wake up, you'll find, like, you know, pilot knocking at your door saying that, you know, you're getting late for the shop and get onto the plane now. But, so people could misuse that too, right? Huh? Gauravani, yeah. So, what happened is, people would bother him, and you know that, like, if you get to know someone has something, you know, you'll bother him. So Gaurkishore Babaji, like, you know, was bothered a lot with, like, these kind of random requests. You know, my daughter is not getting married. Can you, like, do something? And you know, Vaishnava is naturally compassionate. If someone is coming with some suffering, so you wouldn't be like, that's like, you know, I don't care. You won't do that. You will give some solution. So he started chanting in the toilet because he thought no one will come and disturb me here at least. So he's like that. Can you imagine that? Isn't it just so amazing? So he was very different. So a lot of people wanted to take initiation from Gaurkishore Babaji, but Gaurkishore Babaji was like, you know, he would test devotees a lot. Like there was one disciple, if you watch Abhay Charan series, there is an episode on that too. Like, you know, he would flatter, he would bring a lot of gifts, and he would be like, okay, I want an initiation. And one time Maharaj tricked him by like saying, oh yes, let me initiate you, and then we will spend time together here. You'll be my disciple, I'll educate you. He started scaring, you know, cockroaches will come and then ants will fall from the tree. It would be so much nice, you know, but you'll be with your guru. So the moment he started, you know, sharing the real picture, that person just ran away. So no one was actually fit to take this initiation. So now Vimala Prasad, which is Maharaj before initiation, because his father asked him, so he approached Gaurkishore Babaji for initiation. And Gaurkishore Babaji was like, you are very educated, literate, smart, advanced. Why do you need initiation from me? Me? I don't think. He was just acting. Right? So externally, Gaurkishore Babaji was living, you know, in a very, like, you know, under a tree. So I mean, he wasn't. I mean, he was just trying to show him a different picture. This was his test. The Guru was just testing his disciple. So he said, no, I want initiation from you. You're very merciful. And then Gaurkishore Babaji said, mercy flows from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not from me. So he said, oh, if that's the case, I still want initiation from you. So Gaurkishore Babaji is like, okay, go home, I'll think about it. The next day when Prasad would come, you know, to inquire about initiation, like, are you initiating me now? Are you initiating me now? And Gaurkishore Babaji would be like, let me speak to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, let me take his blessings, and let me ask him if he's okay with it, to give you the blessings. And then again, he was, like, you know, he was sent back. The next morning again he came back. So did you speak to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Did you take his permission? Has he agreed for you to initiate me? So he said, agreed about what? No, I still don't want to give you initiation. And now he was like, very, very sad because he just thought, okay, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has rejected me and my guru is not accepting me. That's fine, I will just give up my body. And I'll just give up my body. And then that's when Bhaktisiddhanta Babaji stopped him and he gave him initiation. And his name was Vrishbhanvi Devi Daita at that time. So it's just the guru who was testing him, right? So this is again a sign of and like he was leading by example by showing how determined he was. I've seen a lot of devotees that, because my guru chastised me, I'm going to change my guru. Or because my guru is not responding to my emails, so I'll take shelter of another guru. And, so it's you see that, how determined he was. And it's just so amazing. Then another beautiful thing is okay, so before we go on to that pastime, Maharaj emphasized on 3 books. Any guesses? Srimad Bhagavatam, yes, and? So Go ahead. Perhaps your Chaitanya Charitamrita, yes? And the third one, what Nityananda said, Bhagavad Gita. So he emphasized on 3 books. Okay? He said, even if you're drowning, you should have these 3 books. Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam. And then he said, if you only have space for 2, then leave Bhagavad Gita, have Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then he said, even if you don't have space for 2, you have space for 1, then have Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's very, very attached to Chaitanya Charitamrita. And so this reminds me of being a gardener camping. If you would like to get a set for Chaitanya Charitamrita, please reach out to Sankirtan team. And and then let's say you don't even have space for Chaitanya Charitamrita, then he said just drown. Because what's the point of living? What's the point of living, right? Like you don't have any shastra to relate to. So that's really, really amazing. Then another thing that inspires me a lot is one day we were sharing our reflections, in the temple hall, that how did Krishna show up in your life? Someone said that Krishna showed up in my life in the form of another co-worker who gave me something that I was desiring. Or Krishna showed up in the form of Venkatesh asking me, can you do Guru Puja? Krishna showed up in the form of Devanshi asking me to lead Kirtan, whatever. But in my case, I was like, Krishna is just really merciful to others, but in my case, he shows up as a phone call or very disturbing incident in the ashram or something like that. And then again, when I go back to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur Maharaj's pastime, it just inspires a lot that his life was not easy. Not at all easy. Very, very difficult. So Britishers were ruling India, right? When Maharaj was there. And when Britishers were ruling India, they started brainwashing people in a way that, you're Indian, you do deity worship, and they convinced every Indian, even educated Indians, that you should be embarrassed about your culture, and people were embarrassed about their culture, even till date, right? I can very confidently wear a sari and tilak and go out on the street, but it's not so easy in India. I'll be judged, badly judged, right? So if you are breaking 4 regulated principles, that's normal there now, right? But following 4 eggs is abnormal, right? If you say you don't drink, you don't have a girlfriend, you don't have a girlfriend, isn't it just it's too much for them to swallow? So all glories to the invasions that happened in India. But anyway, so when this was happening, and at the same time, there were so many boguses in India, right? Boguses as in not a genuine bona fide teacher. And they preached one thing, you should not smoke, but at the same time light your cigarette. You should not smoke. Smoking is injurious to health. Can I have another pack? Right? So there were boguses like that. Preaching about how, let's say, preaching something about women should be protected. but they themselves could be like, having some illicit relationship. So it was very, very hard. And then at the same time, there were a lot of sahajiyas. Sahajiyas mean like, someone is just kind of like imitating certain move of exalted devotees. Like, even in the temple sometimes it happens, right? You might see some devotees coming in and they've already assumed my relationship with Krishna is of a gopi. He is my husband, I am his wife, and I am the gopi. Oh Krishna, why did you leave me here? So those kind of moods are very, Prabhupada also calls this like a pure devotee syndrome, right? Like when you start feeling, all these people who are like practicing for 10 years, what do they know, I swear I also had that. I mean, I wouldn't lie. But I really thought that, why? Why? Like my question was always, why? Why? And then, later like Krishna was very merciful. And it's very dangerous route. Very dangerous route. And I remember one time I asked this question, I'm being very vulnerable and honest about myself. I asked this question, why do I have to worship Krishna in the mood of a servant when I can also worship in the mood of Mirabai? Can you imagine comparing myself to Mirabai? That's just so hilarious. And so I'm just saying, like, some people, they imitate that mood, and this was very too much at that time. People were saying, yes, men would dress up as female, acting like Krishna's gopis, because only Krishna is Adi Purush. So our people would do Bhagavad Sapta. Right? You go for Sankirtan every Saturday at 2 p.m. at Old City Hall. Sorry, I'm just promoting like all these events here. But then it's selfless. You're not getting if someone dances with you, great. If someone takes a book, great. If you get some donation, great. But you're showing up every Saturday without any, just because you want to share the wisdom, right? But that wasn't happening at that time. People would do Bhagavad Sapta and they would say, I would do Bhagavad Sapta at home, but this is my church. I'm pretty sure you must have seen a lot of Panditjis like that in India. That kind of astrological issues in your chart, I'll do this puja, but it will take this much money. Right? Be full and bogus. So now boguses were there, and at the same time, Britishers were saying like you should be embarrassed about your culture. So people naturally, didn't have any place where they could have faith. Now, all this pressure. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur wasn't present at that time. He left his body. Maharaj's guru left his body. So he was the only disciple of his guru. So the only person who was left to take over, to carry on this mission, to carry on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement was Maharaj. So he was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. How will I do this? Somehow, somewhere, there's a devotee, Kunj Bihari. He approached Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, and he said that, let's start Gauriya Math. So let's just start some organization. And Maharaj was not interested because Maharaj never liked an organized institution. Never, never. He actually compared it to Putana, saying like how Putana, she was pretending to feed milk, but she fed poison. That's what an institution does. They just pretend, but they're boguses. So he was never into that idea, and he rather ignored him and continued doing whatever he was doing. Now in his dream, all the acharyas of there appeared, and they told him don't wait, just go. You have our blessings. We are there to back you up. And that's when he went to Kolkata. When Kunj Bihari said, let's just start something. And that particular day, before 4 p.m., Gauriya Math was registered, properly registered. So that's where it started from. Also, so there are two kinds of bhakti. One is Vaidhi Bhakti, one is Raganuga Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti is you all are doing right now. I mean, we all are doing right now. That it means I was given a schedule, I'll show up for the morning program, I'll chant my rounds, I'll do this, I'll do that. This is Vaidhi Bhakti. Raganuga Bhakti is when you do all these things involuntarily, right? Like one example is, I was driving Maharaj just recently, I think 2-3 weeks ago, in his last visit. He slept in the car, and you won't believe this. I should have recorded this actually, but it's not nice to record without someone's permission. Maharaj was chanting while snoring. I was just so surprised. Can you imagine you're snoring, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. He was, and so Purushottam Prabhu, my husband told me that, can you just shh? And because Maharaj is sleeping, and Maharaj is not sleeping, he's chanting, and he was actually sleeping. I was amazed to see that. So that's like, a sign of Raganuga Bhakti, right? So Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj emphasized on Vaidhi Bhakti. Because when you do Raganuga Bhakti, you just start, there's a good chance you'll start acting like a pure devotee of the Lord. What does these devotees know? I know better. I lived in Vrindavan, Mayapur. I know so much. These people came in ISKCON 4 months ago. They will tell me. So, at the same time, his emphasis was on Shravanam and Kirtanam. Sorry, my bad. I meant Shravanam and Kirtanam. Shravanam means hearing. They're laughing because that's my husband's name. So Shravanam means hearing and Kirtanam means chanting that. Well, actually, the name also means this. Purna Shravanam was like Maharaj also named him because of this. You right there is a bad. Then at the same, I might just take 10 minutes over. It's just an auspicious day. Please bear with me. But I'll just try to wind up as soon as possible. So please follow those footsteps and focus on hearing and chanting more. Another very beautiful side of him was like he was very soft and sweet, unpredictable sometimes. Like you think, oh Maharaj, if he sees it, he's gonna chastise you. Wait and watch. And Maharaj was very compassionate. But then somewhere, no one will understand. Maharaj will understand. And the moment you go to Maharaj, he chastises you. It was like this. And one example is that there was someone who was donating rupees 2 at that time, every single day. Rupees 2, like 2 rupees was it had value. Even when I was growing up, it had some value. So he was giving this donation to his spiritual master every single day. So one time he was late in the class, and as per the etiquettes, if you're late in the class, just sit at the back. But he thought, I'm giving 2 rupees donation, so I will just ignore and I'll just come. He came all the way in the front, sat there and disturbed everyone, disregarded the decorum. What do you think Maharaj would have said? Any guesses? Any guesses? Huh? Yes, of course. He chastised him. And you were giving me 2 rupees donation, doesn't mean you have purchased me. This is exactly what he said. So you see, he was very firm there, right? He did not say, no, he's a donor, we should just tolerate this. Then at the same time, one time there was an inauguration of a Gaudiya Math, like a temple somewhere. So the person who was behind the scene somehow got attracted to a woman and had some relationship with this woman, because of which all the devotees there decided to just kick him out of the temple. So now when the inauguration was about to start, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj said, where is that person, so-and-so person, who was the main person involved here? So said, he fell down and we just kicked him out. So Maharaj said he got very mad. So everyone was expecting, he fell down, now Maharaj will be very upset, he will tell, you Prabhus did a great job. But instead he got mad at them. Mistakes are very normal to happen. Very, very normal to happen, right? There's only Krishna is perfect. Literally every single day I journal about, I have few journals and one of my journals says, what is it I could have done better today? Every single day has minimum 5 entries. Maximum, that would be, I'll feel depressed. So, minimum 5 entries every single day. Maybe today I should have not wasted prashadam, maybe I should have not spoken to this devotee in this way. There's so many things, right? So mistakes are very normal. Small mistakes, big mistakes, they're very normal. But the thing is that you have to acknowledge it and be compassionate to the person who is making it. Show compassion to him. So Maharaj said, I'm not going to inaugurate this temple and the deities, go and call that devotee right now. And so when someone went, I forgot the name which devotee was sent, but anyway, some devotee was sent to call him, and he was working in a watch company at that time. He was just, his heart was full of joy. He paid obeisances and apologized to his spiritual master and appreciated how That, he was so merciful, more merciful than the Lord. So it's just so amazing to see, how he was sweet and sour, sweet and firm at the same time. So another incident is, there's a very famous pastime, monkey pastime. So one time Maharaj, anyway, we don't have Prashadam, so we can go 10 minutes beyond, okay? One time Maharaj was just writing something on his desk, of course, he's not writing a love letter, he's writing something related to the books that he's read, right? So, something related to Krishna. And then what happened is, his cook was cooking in the kitchen, and there was one monkey who's just barged in. Looked very similar to our one, but just so a monkey just came inside, and he stole 2 bananas from the boga room and started running in the temple. In the temple. And looking at this, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, he dropped everything and he started running behind the monkey. And the cook was like, what? This morning Maharaj gave a class on detachment. What is he doing? So anyway, at the end of the day, monkey was frustrated because Maharaj did not give up. So but monkey wanted to take a revenge, right? So he dropped those bananas on that writing. So the ink spilled, and bananas were there. And then Maharaj was like, okay, finally. And so now cook was like, Maharaj, this morning you gave a class about detachment. Why were you attached to those 2 bananas? How do I apply it in my life? So Maharaj said, getting detached from the material, I taught you to get detached from the material desires and sense gratification. These bananas are supposed to be offered to Krishna. Radharani will offer them. He's stealing Krishna's bhoga. So getting detached doesn't mean I'm not going to do the service. Not getting detached from Krishna consciousness, from the services. Getting detached from your anarthas, from your, conditioning, from sense gratification, from material desires. Right? So, there's a very famous statement from Maharaj, like, a sadhu who flatters you is your enemy. Right? So there should be a combination of being firm and, soft. Right? So, when you make a pot, I don't know if you've seen a potter making a pot. So if he keeps beating, the structure won't form, right? So if he puts the hand inside and does nothing from outside, even that won't work. So both is needed, right? Like when you tap it from outside and support it from inside, that's when the pot is formed. So both of them are very, very much needed. So I'll just end up by just sharing something about his meeting with Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, Ashoka, and I forgot your name, Ashish? Ankit. Srila Prabhupada is the founder Acharya. He's our grandfather, spiritual grandfather. He was the one whose deity you saw upstairs, right in front of Shishadakitra Gopinath. So, how he met him? So, Srila Prabhupada was also not very inclined, even though he was born in a very nice Vaishnava family, but convincing him about the Guru, you would have to convince him. So his friend dragged him to a
Sorry,
oh, I see. Okay, that's good. Okay. That's fine. So one of Srila Prabhupada's friend, all glories to that friend. I don't know what is his name, but because of him, we have Prabhupada. We all are sitting together. Narendra. Yes. Naren. So he brought Prabhupada to he was known as Abhay Babu. He brought him to this class that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj was giving. And the moment Maharaj saw these 2 boys, they were listening to Maharaj very patiently. And in the first meeting, it was 1922, and in the first meeting, Maharaj asked Srila Prabhupada, that you should go in the West and preach in English because, he gave an instruction to both, but only one took it to the heart. And, you should go and preach in the West and preach in English. So, and then Prabhupada, in a very nice way, he just questioned back that instruction by saying that, but right now India is under the British rule. How will we be able to propagate this knowledge. So we should wait until we get full independence. And then Maharaj said, that's like this moment of Lord Chaitanya cannot wait. Cannot wait. So the way Maharaj gave a response to Srila Prabhupada, it stayed with him. So now he's a responsible grihastha too. He was a grihastha, but he was very inspired. Very, very inspired to join the movement. But he was a grihastha, his wife was there, and then he couldn't just okay, bye, you take care of yourself, bye, going back to Godhead. He couldn't do that, right? So instead what he did is, he just thought, I will support my Guru Maharaj financially. So he started business. So he went to, I can't remember, it was 1923 when he went to Allahabad and he started his pharmacy, and he was supporting by giving donations, regular donations. So, and then 10 years later, in 1933, when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj was visiting Prayagraj, which was Allahabad at that time, to inaugurate a Gaudiya Math temple. At that time, he was initiated as Abhay Charana. So at that time, Prabhupada initiated him, and Prabhupada also helped him in. Prabhupada was really, really inspired, really, really inspired. And one time, he also helped him in starting a temple in Bombay, Gaudiya Math, Bombay. So at that time, when he was, Maharaj was inaugurating that temple, all the disciples and devotees there, they said that Prabhupada was so thoroughly involved, and he made a lot of donations, and he's the one who raised all the funds for this. So he should be the temple president of Gaudiya Math, Bombay. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj said, no, keep him away from your association. Because he had a vision that he will do big. Now imagine, he has 108 temples, all over the world. So he knew. But if he would have stayed as in that temple, yeah. And he also knew that there'll be some disturbances in Gaudiya Math as well. Then there's a very beautiful conversation between Prabhupada and his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, in Vrindavan and Radhakund, where Maharaj kind of told him that, actually gave him a vision that there will be disturbances, right? There will be things like this, but if you have money, please print the books. If you have money, just print the books. I wanted to do that, I couldn't. Just print the books, please. And Prabhupada again took that instruction to his heart. And that's Sankirtan is a very important aspect, right, for our moment. And then the last instruction to Srila Prabhupada was also about preaching in the West. So now when Prabhupada received that instruction, and at the same time, he remembered the first instruction was about this, the last instruction is about this, so it was confirmed to him that he's supposed to do this. So 1922 he met his spiritual master, 1933 he got initiated, then 10 years later, 1944, he launched Back to Godhead magazines. And when he launched Back to Godhead magazines, it was and that was on Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj's appearance day. So it's today actually. So it's an anniversary. And then at the age of 62, Maharaj left his body in Jagannath Puri. So yeah, that's all about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj. So now you know a lot about him, I am hoping. Please, throughout the day, meditate upon him, ask for his mercy, beg for his mercy, whatever. There's so many things that he did, right? In today's class, we discussed a lot of pastimes. Just ask for that one quality, I'm missing this quality. I really want to ask, how can I be so well versed? I want to pray for, having a control over my tongue. I couldn't give up samosa, right? So just think about something that you really really liked from his life, and implement that in your life. And we fast until noon. Thank you so much for listening. Any questions? Any reflections?
You still didn't answer why he was called as the lion.
Because all these people were scared of him, right? Mayavadis, Ramakrishna, they were, like, he was a line guru, like he actually compared himself to this, what is his sign, zodiac sign with the cancer, like, so crab? No, with the crab? Scorpio, is that Scorpio? No, Scorpio is Cancer. Yeah, so he actually like emphasized like he's like that. If anyone says Krishna is formless or like tries to deviate or anything, he'll just bite that. That's why like he's a Lord Guru. There are many more pastimes. This is just like something that I could fit in today's class. Yes. Ashoka.
When I was chanting Hare Krishna something like after like we were chanting like Hare Krishna and Hare Ram, right? Like when we are putting together like Ram and Krishna, when it's Radha or something like that.
Oh, so Hare is Radha.
Okay.
We don't call her name directly. We don't say it loud directly because it's kind of like have you seen certain wives that don't take the name of their husbands out of respect?
Yeah.
So it's like we have respect for Radha Rani.
Okay.
So we just avoid that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and at the same, so did this help? So so Radha Rani is there, and there is no difference between Krishna and Rama.
Oh,
The same.
okay.
Nice question. Thank you. Any other thoughts, reflections? Yes.
So you were telling this example of how he taught people by going first to the Brahmanas and glorifying them and then to the Vaishnavas. And then it made me realize that I'm not sure about the difference. Like in my perception, it was always like every Vaishnava is somebody who decides to that Brahmanic, like how do you say, qualities next to like the qualities of the Brahman.
Yeah.
And I was often asking myself, like, where's the line of becoming a Vaishnava? Because the qualities to attain, I personally met hardly any person who has all these qualities of pure Vaishnava, kind of. So usually,
Prabhupada is one of the examples. Prabhupada has qualities. There are a lot of Prabhupada disciples who have similar qualities.
yeah, for sure. Like many great things. But like in my what I experienced so far is everyone who devoted to Krishna was called Vaishnava or Vaishnava. Like, I'm not sure if that's like the right thing or.
No, that's the right thing. Yeah, that's the right thing. Vaishnavis and Vaishnava, like someone who worshiping, who understands the form of Krishna, right? Like he's not effulgent. Sorry. Like he's not impersonal. Like he has a form. Yeah, that's the right word.
So I was very confused when he said at first he glorified the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas, and I was like, in my mind was like, but isn't that a prejudice again? Because every Brahmana is different, every Vaishnava is different. There's Vaishnavas who just started glorifying Krishna. There's Vaishnavas who have been glorifying him for 1,000 lifetimes.
So what is the confusion? I didn't understand.
I was wondering what was the point of him doing that.
So the point is, first of all, the argument was about Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, right? Who is the superiority? And this is still existing somewhere because Brahmanas are also kind of like some consider like Shiva the highest, some consider this white light Brahma Jyoti the highest. So Brahmanas are also like different kinds. But Brahmanas, and this was an argument about Vaishnavas and Brahmanas. So what Devanshi said, right? Like usually when there is a debate, what happens is people defend and they glorify themselves. Defend, glorify. This is their mechanism. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj did not do that. What he did is, so he knew what is the issue. So he knows that Vaishnavas are superior. Anyone who has like devotee of the Lord's, devotees of the Lord, they are like superior because they have the ultimate knowledge, the knowledge of the absolute.
Not.
Well, Brahmanas, if they know, the Brahmins who know about Krishna, then yes. But not all, because some Brahmins, they just have knowledge of Brahman, right? So, like even Brahmins, like they have a lot of variation. Some Brahmins, they think it's okay to eat meat. They're like Mirabai's in-laws. So they had a Brahmin clan who was advising, who believed in killing goats. Who believed in killing goats. So what he did is he,
Sorry, can I ask a
Yeah,
question? So when you're talking about Brahmana, we are not referring to what we understand Krishna consciousness as Brahmana.
no, this is not that.
It's more related
Yeah.
to like because in the caste system everyone can fall down
That's right.
it's by birth,
That's right.
but it has nothing to do with how somebody is actually acting.
Right. So if you go to so if you go to east, west, north, south, let's just take example of India. You'll see different kind of Brahmins, right? But if you go to east, west, north, south of this world, all ISKCON devotees are same. Everyone understands what is Mangalarti, everyone understands what is Guru Puja, everyone understands what is Pranam Mantra. So you see, this is all standard. So here, when he was glorifying Brahmins, he was just classifying them. You're wonderful people. You know, this is Brahmana is capable of this and this and this and this. And then the second thing he said, like, however, this is not the current situation. The current situation is this. In the third, he said, this is why Vaishnavas are created. So I hope like now it helps.
No, I'm still a bit confused.
What are you confused about?
In my understanding, like because now it said, okay, Vaishnava has to fulfill this and this and this. I was not aware of that. For me, it was everyone who, like yesterday, somebody came to the temple and he was just, he was showing up and he had his box. And he had these little things he made like with a 3D printer. And he was just like talking about he makes things and he did this research and Ganesha came in his dream, but he doesn't know anything because he was never in touch with that, but he has like, and I could see like there was this strong pull from Krishna. And after some time I was like, Prabhu, just to know how to help you, because I felt like he tried to find someone to talk to. Are you trying to sell something? And he said, no, I'm just so inspired. And I felt like he just doesn't know me. He doesn't know anything about anything.
I see, but I still don't understand the question. Can anyone help me in understanding it? Oh, you're laughing so much. You the question. Do you know the question? I said, no, but it's important to answer. Do you have to understand the question? I think the question is not clear. So you're asking, like you're sharing your impression that you think someone is with Brahminical qualities is a Brahmin, right? Is that what you're saying?